And good evening. Finally, we welcome you to another edition of Sports Corner. My name is Ralph Williams. It's great to have you here tonight. We had some technical issues earlier in Studio A, so I had to move everything to Studio B. So here we are, both on YouTube and Facebook. It's great to be here. I'm back from my trip to Grove City and Erie, and it's great to be here tonight. Sorry, once again, I apologize for being late. I had some technical issues. I had to move everything into and get up set up Studio B here at Studios 808 here in Allentown. Tonight we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. First, what I want to talk about is let's talk about this, and that is the Steelers or the. So we are going to be talking about the Steelers, but let's talk about USC and UCLA. In case you're not aware, USC and UCLA will be moving their to another conference in 2024. They're talking about moving to the Big Ten. Big Ten will be expanded. Now, what happens to the Pac-10 is my question to you. What happens to the Arizonas, the Arizona States, the Oregons, the Washington States, the Washington Huskies? What happens to that conference as a whole? Does that conference get broken up? Okay. This is the new politics of college football. And you know what's sad about this whole thing? Kids are allowed to leave early. Kids are allowed to get paid. You see the Jordan Addison situation. And now we have to deal with this now. Okay. Now we have to deal with this whole situation of that, okay, that the college football system is just out of control. The total thing is now you got teams moving to different conferences in a different year. Now, the question the entire few days and over the last course of the week, even though I was on vacation, I kept up with some things. The biggest question is, what happens with Pitt? Does Pitt stay in the ACC? If they get invited to the Big Ten, do they go? Or no, nothing happens at all. Pitt just stays where they are. If it's big money and bigger money, wouldn't you leave? Okay? Wouldn't you leave to go somewhere else, to another conference or to, wherever else you want to go based on that whole situation? Okay? So what do you think? What's your thoughts? Comment section wide open. I no longer have the live call-in line anymore. I wasn't getting any calls anyway, and if you watched me earlier on the way I see it, I had explained to you that I'm not getting any calls on the live call-in show line, so no use having it anymore. If you look on the bottom of the ticker tape, it says all shows live on YouTube and Facebook. I do apologize again. We're late due to technical problems that we had earlier tonight, and I had to move everything back here to Studio B of Studios 808. So, college football. Do you think it's a joke? I mean, kids, like I said before, kids get to leave early. They can leave whenever they want. Nobody cares. College football doesn't even care. All right? So what do? What do you say? It's not the game that it once was, and then you have, the bettors out there, putting their money out on everything, which of course that's their prerogative to do that. And there's nothing wrong with betting on college football, I suppose. A lot of people do it. Okay? All right? Even though it's not really allowed, but they do it anyway. All right? You have Jordan Addison going to USC from Pitt. He was offered money. All right? When is college football going to be fair again? Never. I don't think so. I don't believe it at all that it'll ever be fair again. It's a joke right now. And now you have teams moving to a different conference. And the Pac-10 might not even be a conference. Will Arizona State and Herm Edwards decide, well, you know what? We're not going to stay here. This is weak. Let's go. Let's move somewhere else. Let's go to another conference. Does the ACC take some of these teams? Does the SEC take a couple teams? Big Ten take a few more? Do you know what this does for the Big Ten? This puts games like USC versus Penn State, UCLA versus Penn State, and all these people. The team that's going to hurt the worst in the Pac-10 is going to be Rutgers, with Greg Schiano as their coach. Excuse me. Some refreshing zero sugar lemonade. So anyway, where does this go? All right. You're going to see some good key matches in this entire thing. But again, where does this go? All right. The Big Ten just gets stronger and stronger in the next few years. What happens to the AAC, the American Athletic Conference, Cincinnati, and all those guys? Do they keep that conference together? Does the ACC stick together, as I mentioned earlier? What is going on? What will happen? Your comments are wide open. What's your thoughts on this college football thing? Teams moving around, players getting paid. It's a real mess. All right, Steelers. Reports out that the Steelers may bring back Joe Hayden. You know, I want Joe Hayden out because I think his time has passed. But I wouldn't have a problem if he comes back at a discount, which the Steelers right now with Omar Khan are very good at doing. They're good at bringing back people at a discount. And I believe that is what they need to do. All right, they need to bring back, who they can and when they can. All right, and if it's at a discount, it's at a discount. If Joe Hayden can do something for the team, like mentor some of these guys, and just play maybe in a spare role, special teams maybe, or something like that, that's fine. But if he tries to go to another team, I heard Cleveland might take him back. I don't even know. Okay, will Cleveland take him back? That's a good question. Juana is on the air. Juana, thank you for being patient. She's my number one watcher. Had some technical issues earlier with the live stream, and I had to move everything into Studio B here at 808 Studios here at Allentown. All right, so that's one report that's out. The next report that's out is everybody's upset in regards to this quarterbacks competition. This whole thing is going nuts. This shouldn't even go on. This is an NFL team, not a college team where if you have a college team, you can do this. You have time to do this. You have multiple ways. You could put one quarterback in one time and another one came in on another time. So that's what I'm trying to tell you right now is the fact that, okay, that the Steelers are going to need to really figure out who their starter is. And I'm hearing stories now. It's Mitch Trubisky. And I said this last week, on Sports Corner here, that I thought that the reports had all said about Mitch Trubisky, and that could be the case. He could be our starting quarterback already, and no one is even thinking that Kenny Pickett's going to start. All right. You have some people out there already putting together 53-man rosters. In fact, Smoking Jim and I Thursday night on Sports Corner, working on a TV show on PCTV, Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon in Allegheny County, and on Facebook page for PCTV. We're going to be live, and you can call in your thoughts, and also on Facebook. All right. What is your 53-man roster? Who's your quarterbacks? All right. Some are saying it's going to be Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and Kenny Pickett. Some are saying it's going to be Mason Rudolph, or it's going to be Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and that, and the kid in the seventh round that we picked up, in the draft. Okay. So who's it going to be, and what's it going to be? How's it going to happen? All right. They only have 3 preseason games, as I've said many times. Chris Oladoku, okay, is he going to be the third-string quarterback? All right. The draft picks, all right, we're already looking at George Pickens definitely makes the team. All right, DeMarvin Lew makes the team. Calvin Austin is already opening eyes. He makes the team, okay. And then you've got Connor Hayward. He's going to make the team because his brother's camp. All right, so that's how that's going to work. They're saying Mark Robinson's not going to make the team because there's too much depth at linebacker, and they don't think he's going to make it. Oladoku will make it, and I'm hearing good stories about him as well. So what do? Do they trade Mason Rudolph, get what you can for him, get him out of here, and do it that way, or do you play the safety net? See, here's what everyone needs to understand. The Steelers this year do not have a franchise quarterback, and I've said this many times. Ben Roethlisberger is not here this year, okay? This is going to be Mike Tomlin's very first full season. I wouldn't say first, 2019, but Ben played a few games, okay, before he got hurt, and then he had the elbow surgery and injury. So what I'm saying to you is, here we are with a quarterback situation that Mike Tomlin has never experienced in his 15 years as a head coach. All right. He is going to have to figure this out. So I'm thinking you put Owadoku on the put him on in the practice squad, okay, and pray nobody takes him. Keep Mason Rudolph as a safety net in case Trubisky gets hurt, because I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be ready. I would rather Kenny Pickett learn his way through the system than get thrown in like Ben did, although Ben was able to take us to a 15-1 record. You're watching Sports Corner here on live on YouTube and Facebook. We're a little late tonight due to technical issues. I am Ralph Williams. This is Sports Corner. I am Pittsburgh's forgotten son. Those of you who are not aware, the media in this town, I am the forgotten son. It's really sad, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I don't need to, and I refuse to. So here we are. Reports are also out there that, and I read a report today that Deontay Johnson's not going to get $20 million. What makes anyone think that the Steelers are going to give a wide receiver $20 million a year? Okay? Deontay Johnson's not that good of a wide receiver anyway. He's a Crisco fingers. He has dropped so many passes, no matter how much you try to work with him and no matter how many times he throws that tennis ball around, he's still going to drop a ton of passes. All right? And the interesting thing is he had him thrown to him from the best quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger. All right, next, former New York Giant and USFL scout Chris Watt has been hired by the Steelers as a scout. And many media people have preliminary 53-man rosters. Okay, tonight I'm going to go over a few where I think my 53-man roster could go. All right, where it could go or where it would go. All right, and let's go by position. Let's talk about defensive line. Okay, let's talk about this now. Cam Hayward, Tyson Alawu, Isaiah Loudermilk, Montavious Adams. Let's see here. Donovan Jeter, DeMarvin Lew, Chris Wormley, and they just signed Owen Doku. So I see possibly that many on the defensive line. All right. Your starters are going to be Cam Hayward, Tyson Alawu, and probably Chris Wormley until they can work in Lew, okay, the third-round pick, and until they can work him in. All right. I don't see where anyone else other than those three guys will be starting at that position. And Doku, he'll be in there as well. So will Martavis Adams. They're going to carry 6 offensive or defensive linemen. My preliminary status is, like I said, Tyson Alawu, Haywood, and then Owen Joku, okay, and then DeMarcus Lew and Chris Wormley. That's going to be the rest of the guys are either going to go on the practice squad or they're going to get cut. And I'm hoping that, Henry Mondo doesn't get cut because I would like to see him. My linebackers for the 53-man roster. Okay, we're already at 6 now. All right, linebackers. T.J. Watt, Robert Spillane, okay, Devin Bush, Miles Jack, Marcus Allen, Ulysses Gilbert. Okay, now they're saying Jannard Avery will make the team. Highsmith will make the team. Maybe Buddy Johnson, okay, and Tazer Skipper. And they also got that other one that they just re-signed, that Tuska. They just brought him back. All right, they're thinking Tuska's going to be in there. He's good. He did what he had to do this year, but no Mark Robinson. I don't see him in there. All right, defensive backs: Terrell Edmonds. Unfortunately, Terrell Edmonds, Cam Sutton, Levi Wallace. Let's see here: Demonte Kazir, Demonte Kazir. Miles Kinnebrew, I see Arthur Mollett. All right, let's see who else as far as the defensive backs. All right, yeah, and Akeem Witherspoon. All right, that's who I see as far as this all goes. All right, now as far as and that includes the safeties too. Trey Norwood could still probably be in there. I hope Justin Lane gets cut. Carl Joseph, he's trying to work his way in there. He's had some injuries and a few other problems. So I'm just thinking that could possibly be where that goes as well. All right. But like I said, everybody doing this preliminary rosters, and the only reason I'm doing it is because everybody else is doing it, and I figure maybe we can have some fun with this. Offensive line: James Daniels, Mason Cole, Kendrick Green, Dan Moore. Let's see, J.C. Hassenauer, Kevin Dotson, Joe Haig, and I think, let's see, who else? Trent Scott, all right, and John Legou. Those are my guys for the offensive line. My quarterbacks: Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and Chris Olendokum. I think he goes on the practice squad. Running backs: Najee Harris. Okay, I don't like Benny Snell, Kalen Balash, Anthony McFarland, and Mateo Durant. I don't see Benny Snell making this team, and Kalen Balash might not either. I think they might have to look at free agency. And you know what? The end of training camp's coming up. Some guys will get cut, others won't. There's some people want too much money. You might get them cheap. Tight end: Zach Gentry, Pat Freiermuth, Connor Hayward. All right. And your fullbacks. All right. We're going to go with Derek Watt. And, of course, Connor Hayward will be playing both positions of fullback and tight end. All right. So then we'll look at wide receivers: George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Calvin Austin, I think, is going to make the team. That's 4. Gunnar Olszewski, that's 5. And I would go with, and probably Cody White will make it, or he'll be on a practice squad because his dad is a scout. Miles Boykin, maybe. Anthony Miller, maybe. One of them two in between. But that's where I go with who I think that the Steelers may, be take it or for the 53-man roster. I just don't see how in the world anyone right now could really even put a 53-man roster together. But there's mine. That's my preliminary 53-man roster. And like I said, some of my other colleagues have already started putting theirs together as well. And, there's nothing wrong with that. You can have some fun with that stuff and take care of it and everything else. So there we are with that. So let's see what else we're going to do here. All right, let's talk about the Pirates right now. Pirates are up 4-1, or 5-1, I'm sorry. Eighth inning. If you look at the sky outside, it don't look very nice. So I'm thinking if they can get this in here, Pirates are up 5-1. It's great. Underwood's on the mound right now, I believe. Yeah, that's Underwood. He's on the mound, and he just walked the guy. So the Yankees have a man on with no outs. So the Pirates. But Yoshi Suzuki returns from IR. Hoy Park, Takupo, Marcano, all sent back to the minors. Their record's 32-47. Where do the Pirates go from here? Do they go up or do they go down? You have the All-Star game coming up soon, sometime this month. And with that, I think it'll probably be Brian Reynolds. Will probably be the only representative for us, unless Bettner gets in there as a pitcher. I don't see anybody else at this point other than probably Reynolds will be in our All-Star representative. With the future with Brian Reynolds, with Key Brian Hayes, both of them signed. Now I'm hearing Kevin Newman's coming off the injured list. What do you do with Kevin Newman? Do you keep him on the team? Do you cut him? Do you trade him? Do you try to get something for him? Because we got this Orneal Cruz. We don't need Kevin Newman. All right. We have Orneal Cruz, back in the, or in the fray. We don't need him. All right. They play the Yankees for 2 games. They're up right now. Jamison Tyon is pitched tonight for the Yankees, and then we took 2 out of 4 from the Milwaukee Brewers. And the roller coaster ride continues with the Pirates. One day the pitching's fine. The next day they lose 12-1. It's going to be an up and down kind of a year. All right. Comment section: $20 million a year for a quarterback. Wow. Yeah. That's what the wide receivers go for now. $20 million or more per year. Big signing bonuses. That is what these teams are doing in the NFL right now. Let's get back to the Pirates. They have this nice young nucleus of people. Who knows? They might squeeze out 500 this year. Who knows? But they're 15 games under 500 currently, and they're not doing too bad for themselves. They're hanging in there. They're trying to win games. They're only losing by 1, maybe 2 points. A few games here and there, they get slaughtered. But that's the roller coaster ride of the Pirates this year, and that's how so far it has gone. All right, so there we are with the Pirates tonight. Penguins, on the other hand, have re-signed Casey D. Smith. So how do you like that one? So Casey D. Smith has been re-signed, and actually, believe it or not, that isn't an economic thing for them, because now they can take whatever extra money that they have and look at either Letang, Malkin, or both. And I think that with the draft coming up, they're going to have to figure something out. They have draft picks this year for the first time in a while. Jim Rutherford, if those of you are not aware, had decided to when he was here. He is now in Vancouver. When he was here, he decided that he was going to sell our whole team out, and our draft picks. So for stopgap kind of guys. And we had, at one point, nothing to build on from the minor league system. And now we're starting to get there a little bit. Now, my next question is, and I've said this question many times, what does the Fenway Group do, the ownership of the Penguins? Do they clean house? Do they just tinker with a little bit? Maybe move a coach out, get a coach out, get another coach in? Do they pay or get some players in here? Do they keep what's here now? I think Fenway, from what I'm seeing right now from the Fenway Group, I think that they're going to keep the Penguins as is and see what happens. And if nothing happens in the next year or two, I think somebody's going to get fired. It's either going to be Brian Burke, it's either going to be Ron Hextall, or it's going to be Mike Sullivan. Somebody's got to get fired here if they don't do something within the next 2 years. That's the way I look at it with, the Penguins right now. Also, what moves need or could be done, and then re-signing Casey D. Smith as a backup goalie for 2 years. You at least know, and you have at least a small insurance policy. I'm hoping D. Smith gets better than what he did in the playoffs last year, coming off of an injury and all kinds of other stuff. Jari couldn't play. If we could just get the goalie situation straightened out, I think the Pens have a legitimate chance. Question, Malkin or Letang? I think they should sign Malkin. I think they should let Letang go. I've been disagreed with many times in regards to that. People are saying how great Malkin or how great Letang is. But you know something, he's 35 years old in the age of hockey. You're lucky if you make it to 40. If you make it past 40, that's a bonus. So always an informative show on sports. Thank you. I appreciate that, Juana. You can post your comments like Juana has in the comments section. We no longer have the live call-in phone because no one called. So I figure forget it. I'll just forget that as well. Don't forget Thursday night, PCTV Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon, myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, TV version of Sports Corner, 6 p.m. start time, 412-231-2288 is the number to call to participate in the show. Saturday, 5 p.m. Sports Corner again, but this Saturday, it's going to be the year and mid-year Sports in Review show that we did at the beginning of the month. It's the replay of that at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, instead of Thursday at 8 o'clock, is Wrestle Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Mark Mancini, Smoking Jim Frazier. 347-205-9631 is the number for you to listen to the show. Blog Talk, Radio, Wrestle Talk, lots of talk about Money in the Bank, AEW, and a whole lot more, all tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio. And possibility of the Tampa show. I haven't heard anything back from Peter Blake, so we will find out what happens there as well. All right, let's talk about the Pitt football team. All right, the Pitt football team has received a official visit from Lamar Seymour, and they have some new guys, recruits that they've done very good with. They have Rashawn Billis coming in and Martavius Lloyd, and also defensive tackle Khalil Clancy, named preseason All-American by Athlon Sports. And basketball, Pitt men's team signs guard, has brought in guard Carlos Charrington, and Carrington. He is a guard, and let's hope that Jeff Capel can get the men's basketball team back in order this year. If not, I think he needs to be fired because he hasn't done too much of anything at all as far as the Pitt basketball program goes, men's basketball on that front. Other Pittsburgh sports, Pittsburgh Passion women's football team lost to Boston a few weeks ago. It's sad, second round of playoffs, but they did have a good year. They were 5-3. This is the first year for the women's team, the Passion, since they haven't played in 2 years due to COVID. And so there you are there. Pittsburgh Riverhounds last Friday beat the New York Red Bulls 3-0. And then they also play the Indy 11 team 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and then Saturday they play in Miami in just a continual streak of games for the Riverhounds, who are doing quite well, actually. They're having a pretty mediocre year, not doing too bad as far as the Riverhounds go. All right, now let's talk some other national sports news. NFL, Bo Allen, former Wisconsin Badger and 7-year starting vet for Philly and Tampa Bay, has announced his retirement. And you know something? I've noticed this lately, that a lot of people are announcing their retirements. They're putting in maybe 6, 7, 8 years, announcing their retirements. I guess they don't want to be in concussion protocol all the time, or they don't want to be having headaches every day when they wake up from the concussions. And I don't blame some of these people, for doing that. Dallas looking to trade for T.Y. Hilton of the Indy Colts. Wow, that's an interesting one right there, is T.Y. Hilton. Wow. Seattle Seahawks owner says the team is not for sale. All right, not for sale. So there we are with that. All right. And former NFL quarterback Mike Vick being sued by a creditor. All right, by a creditor, because what had happened was, unfortunately for him, he was sued by a creditor. He took out a loan. He owns a creditor millions of dollars. So the creditor decided to take him to court. So we'll see how that works out. Bobby Bonilla Day. Oh my gosh, that was on Thursday of last week. And in case a lot of you don't know what that is, Bobby Bonilla Day is every July 1st. The man gets close to $2 million every single year up until 2035. Because what happened was, he was supposed to be cut by the Mets. So the Mets didn't want to be embarrassed. So they decided that they said sign him to a contract and stretch it out to 2035. Can you believe that? Every year he gets a check. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? You get to sit back, enjoy yourself, and get paid once a year and enjoy it. Wow. Waiting that once a year, though, I don't know about that. That's, you know what I mean? Think about that for 1 second, okay? Just think quickly. What would you think if you would have to wait? I mean, a whole year to get some kind of money. People don't even want to wait a week. So what makes anyone think of that? Jake Paul. All right, Jake Paul has signed a contract with the WWE. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, not Jake Paul. Luke Paul has signed with them. Jake Paul, his brother, is involved, or Logan Paul. I'm sorry, Logan Paul signed with the WWE. I got his name wrong. Jake Paul did not. Jake Paul is not signed with the WWE and probably will not. He's into boxing. He wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. We'll see where that goes. Butterbean is back. Remember Butterbean? Yeah. Butterbean's back, 55 years old, in shape, wants to come back. He wants to fight Mike Tyson. We'll see where that goes. USFL Championship game, Birmingham 33, Philly 30. What a game. I watched it. It was one heck of a championship game. In golf, Ben Roethlisberger and Michael Phelps and Team USA secured a win at the golf outing in New Jersey, in Jersey City, New Jersey. This has been Sports Corner. I am Ralph Williams. I'm sorry for the shortness tonight, but we had some technical problems earlier, and I had some issues getting things together, so we finally made it on at around 9:15, 9:20, somewhere in there. So, we made it on the air. I appreciate those who are watching tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back next Tuesday at our regular time at 8 p.m., and I'm looking to get a possible guest on as well. I am Ralph Williams. This is Sports Corner. Please do not forget to subscribe to my Facebook or my YouTube channel, excuse me, and like my page on Facebook, Ralph Williams and Sports Corner, also with the way I see it and Wrestle Talk all on one page. And please don't forget Monday night, 7 o'clock. The way I see it, with me, Ralph Williams. I approve this message. Everybody be safe. Thank you. Have a good night.